Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this special bulletin. Daisy Ridley is defending Star Wars fans. Or at least, that's what it appears. In this article from NBC News, Daisy Ridley says sexism from Star Wars fan is blown out of proportion. Why on earth would she think that? I thought the Star Wars hate for the sequel trilogy and for the character of Revo, Moses Ingram actress, is just hate, racism, sexism, hate. Heaven forbid we dislike a character. Ridley was asked about some online uproar from fans after filmmaker Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy. No, she's not fired. She's not fired. Look at the source. See who it's from. Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy is not fired. Anyway, was announced as the director. Nobody cares that the new director is a woman. They care that she's an activist. Everyone is aware that her little speech about I like to make men uncomfortable. I put my activism into everything. They're very much aware that it's from years ago. It doesn't change the fact that she said these things and this is her philosophy. But let's get on with Daisy Ridley and her statement. Let's make that a little bigger, shall we? There we go. Actor. I'm too used to saying actress. Actress Daisy Ridley addressed the issue of sexism from Star Wars fans, telling NBC Today show that she thinks it has been blown out of proportion. Ridley, who plays Rey, terrible character, Rey Palpatine, in the blockbuster franchise that Disney is tanking over and over and over again with piss-poor writing and nonsensical stories and absolutely disrespecting any canon, any lore that came before it. But I digress. Appeared on the show Thursday and was asked about some online uproar from fans after filmmaker Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, because we have to say her full name every single time, was announced as the director of the new Star Wars movie, New Jedi Order. I guess that's what they're sticking with. Quote, I think my take on things gets blown out of proportion, and the interactions I've ever had with people have been nothing but wonderful and supportive. People don't have a problem with Daisy Ridley, the actress, unless, of course, you're a psychotic Reylo fan. That's a whole different story. Go look it up. Reylo fans are weird. It's actually sending hateful messages to both actor and actress. Anyway, I've only ever been embraced, and I think we're going to make a great film. It was announced last year that Obaid-Chinoy, an Academy Award and Emmy Award-winning documentary filmmaker, who has come out and said explicitly that she never went to school, nobody taught her how to do things, so maybe she does have her own little innate skill to do documentaries. What does that have to do with directing a film, directing action sequences, dramatic sequences, anything like that? She does not have the experience, and that is where people have the number one problem with. Would helm the project. She is the first... Oh, God... She is the first woman and first person of color to direct a feature film for the franchise. We don't even care about the TV shows, but whatever. It appears that some of the controversy stemmed from comments Obaid-Chinoy made to CNN about her Star Wars film debut. Yes, people had a problem that it's high time a woman directs Star Wars. Women have been involved with Star Wars since the dawn of Star Wars, and no one has ever had a problem with it. People have a problem with the attitude of individuals like Obaid-Chinoy and all these other actors and actresses and studio heads coming out and acting like this is supposed to be something special. It is superficial nonsense all the time, every time. And that is what the fans are tired of. They just want a good story. We don't care what the main character looks like. We want a good story. If Rey Palpatine had been written well, directed well, had an interesting story instead of just handed everything like a Mary Sue, her character, the character of Rey Palpatine, would have been far more accepted. Nobody has a problem with Daisy Ridley. Let's see. During a recent interview with CNN, she said she was very, quote, very thrilled about the project because I feel what we're about to create is something very special. We've heard this before, and it turns out to be garbage. And we're in 2024 now. Not that that matters. Good stories stand the test of time. They span generation after generation. No matter what you do, because they're good stories. They're relatable to everyone, not just a specific demographic. And it's about time that we had a woman come forward and shape a story in a galaxy far, far away. Now, I can't imagine why fans of the franchise would have a problem with that. Men and women alike. Black and brown people and white people and orange people and yellow and purple and green. Everyone have... I can't imagine people not having a problem with that because it's the assumption that it makes that women just haven't been allowed to touch Star Wars, not in costume design, not as a director. The TV shows had directors, but there were editors, there were set designers, there were sound designers. I'm sure lots of women involved in Star Wars, not to mention Princess Leia, one of the most famous, one of the most popular, most beloved female protagonists. And you can't sit there and say that, well, she wasn't the main star, she wasn't the main protagonist. She was part of the story. She helped Luke and Han Solo and Chewbacca get out of the detention center. Without her and her quick thinking, they would have died, period. Fantastic character, and that is ignored and disrespected over and over with nonsensical speeches like this. Some fans, /film.com reported, accused Obaid Chinoy of focusing on the fact that she was a woman, because that's what she did. It's exactly what she did. Saying that the focus should be on her trying to make a great movie, which is 100% correct. Nobody cares that she's a woman. Nobody cares that people care about that she's a documentarian and doesn't have an experience directing a movie, much less Star Wars. Others accused Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy of hiring Obaid Chinoy to, quote, inject more feminism and wokeness into the film series, according to /film. It is very difficult not to see it that way based on the track record of Disney and Lucasfilm. It is happening over and over. Why do you think the hashtag and the slip-ups of calling the MCU, calling it the MSHU? Why do you think that is happening? Because time after time after time, the promotional material for these stories, these movies, TV shows, and everything is strong female character, diversity, inclusion, and modern day. They don't talk about the story. They don't talk about the setting. All we hear is superficial nonsense about the cast, about the director, and we're tired of it. Fans are tired of it. So automatically, when you come out and say, it's high time a woman, blah, 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 this is a massive red flag. As soon as that red flag comes up, they start to look at her history. What are her credentials? What are Obaid Chinoy's credentials? She is a documentarian. If it was a man, documentarian, heading the next Star Wars film, you would get the exact same response. We just want a good story, and we don't believe Obaid Chinoy is qualified to direct a movie for Star Wars. It's just that simple. And it's difficult to ignore one red flag after another when that's all Disney, Lucasfilm, Marvel, Star Wars is putting out. Is one identity checkbox, ideological nonsense after another. Instead of focusing on good stories and putting in the ideological nonsense, second, third, fourth, whatever. Put the story first. Put the characters first. Their journey, their struggles, their strife. Put that first. Put your message in second. You never know. You never know what kind of reaction you're going to get until you try, because you sure as hell aren't trying now. Ridley, who was on today to promote her new movie, quote, Sometimes I Think About Dying, did not give any details away about New Jedi Order because she doesn't have them. Telling the host that she has not read a script yet because there is none. They just announced the movie. There is no script. They may have an idea, but that's about it. Quote, but the story I've been told is fantastic, and I'm here, I'm there, I'm in it, she said, and you're getting paid a lot of money. So I'm pretty sure that was a good motivation. Nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with a paycheck. Hopefully you'll get some good writers, a good director. And who knows, maybe Obaid Chinoy is able to just knock it out of the park with this directorial debut of a major motion picture. To end the article, it's a very worthwhile story, and I think Charmine's going to do an amazing job. Well, dear woman, Daisy, you are the only person that thinks that. But the idea that she believes the sexism is blown out of proportion, you're not the only one. Fans have been saying it for quite some time. The fan baiting is getting tiresome. People are ignoring it to the point where it's almost a badge of honor. If you ruffle some feathers with your opinion because you don't like a character in a world of fiction, apparently that means you don't like the actor or the actress. And it's solely based on their genitalia and their skin color. And you know what? It's a badge of honor when somebody calls me an istophobe. Any of those qualifications, I just don't care anymore because I know who I am, I know what I am, and I'm tired of the piss poor writing coming out of Hollywood. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Leave a like, leave a dislike, do all those nifty little things we beg you to do, and I hope to see you on the next one.